gonna be good today. And my first guest, years and years ago, y'all have heard this story. When I was a fledgling young poet back in the day here in the city, we were part of a collective known as Another Level at Literary Explosion, and on the off chance that you came down there, you could see anybody, like literally. But it all started with my first guest, Kevin Powell. Was one of the first folks to come down to that basement and bless us with his work and his words. He has been Grammy nominated. He's got an amazing collection of books, poetry and other books. He is, as you may know, he was one of the first cast members of The Real World back when MTV showed videos and all that kind of weird stuff. Can you imagine? A music television channel showing videos. And now Kevin is, and I said this to him a few moments ago before we got started. I fully believe that this documentary is going to change people. It's called When We Free the World. What does it really mean to be a man? And it features black men talking about manhood. And for the uninitiated, the idea of that in a documentary, this is humongous, and I'm so glad to have Kevin Powell on the show today. He joins us by way of Zoom. Hey, brother, what's happening? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. Mario, it's great to see you as always, and thank you for having me as always. I appreciate you so much.
We still kind of look the same.
Aha, black don't crack.
Now, well, that's what I've heard. Um, you, you've done a lot in your career. To elevate voices, not just black voices, but to elevate voices and
Yes,
to
sir.
give people an opportunity to be heard in platforms they may not be able to be heard in. What was the impetus behind this documentary, When We Free the World?
Beyonce put out something called Lemonade about 8 years ago, and I was so captivated by how she was representing black women, the diversity of the sisters in there, and just like the vignettes. I kept saying to myself, "Man, how come there's not been anything like this for black men, for black males?"
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I was going to do a short piece, 5 to 10 minutes. It was going to be a short film or a music video, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. It's a 2 hour film with 70 black male voices from teenagers to 90 something from all over the country. Um, and every kind of black male you can think of is in there. Because I mean, listen, Mary, I'm a huge sports fan, a massive sports fan.
Oh, I know.
Uh, but a lot of documentaries are only about brothers who are athletes or about brothers who are entertainers, and or the documents that we research, with black males, we're either being the victims of racism or we're reacting to racism. I like, how about showing us as the whole human beings we are for a change, and let us tell the stories ourselves as opposed to someone putting on us, these stories. And that's what we did. And it's been 6 years, brother, 6 years working on this film. I didn't expect it to be that long, but COVID happened. We've now gone through a couple of changes with the government, as you know, the craziness that we're in the middle of again right
Yes,
now.
yes.
I went through a lot of personal stuff. I lost several brothers who were only in their 40s and 50s. One brother was in his early 30s. He committed suicide. He was like my nephew,
Mm-hmm.
during the middle making of this film. And so I wanted to make a film that really captured the spirit of what it is to be a man. We have fathers in the film because it's important, even though I may not have had my father in my life. We keep saying black fathers do exist, and we can't keep putting out this false narrative that there are no fathers at all, no mentors, no role models. We talk about mental health a lot. We talk about hip hop, from all angles, you know what I mean? Because a lot of us are hip hop heads, obviously. But it's a film about getting black men to kind of look at it. But we also put it in historical context because you know how people like to dump things on brothers like, well, it's all because of us. And I'm like, no, there's some context here. So we go back and look at some things that help to lead to where we are, and it's all through brothers talking about it. We got brothers who are formerly incarcerated. Man, we got 12 PhD brothers in the film. How many times do you see that with 12 brothers with the name doctor in front of their names in a film?
Right,
You know,
right.
how many times do you see brothers who are formerly incarcerated talking about their lives, their journeys, what they went through in the pen, but what they have done with their lives afterwards? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and putting it all together. And it was hard, man. We had to figure it out. Shout out to my wife, Evangeline Lawson, who's the co-writer, co-producer of this. Her parents are from Chicago.
Yes.
Brian Johnson, who's at Trinity church there with Pastor Moss. He did the score for the film. He did a beautiful score for the film. It was a collective effort, man. and it's coming to it's in Chicago this weekend. It's in New York and Chicago. We're going to do a 1 week run in Chicago, New York, at AMC theaters. That's why we're talking, and I'm just excited. And everybody's asking when is the screening happening? It's definitely coming, so everyone can see it. But we wanted to start with two cities that are near and dear to my heart, and Chicago and New York are two of those cities. So that's why it's in Chicago and New York first.
What is the connection with you in Chicago?
Man, y'all, back in the, when I was at when I had a lot of hair back in the
Yes,
'90s.
when we all had hair, Kevin.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. And man, let me tell you something. The love that I got from y'all, the Chicago writers, the Chicago poets, the Chicago musicians. I
Yeah.
mean, man, being at a club. I remember being at a club, and we may have talked about this before, where I was watching Bernie Mac perform, and his mama was in the audience with aluminum foil with fried chicken. And I was like, that's my mama. That's what we be doing
Right.
with some white bread. Chicago feels like home because my people are from South Carolina. It feels like home.
Yeah.
Chicago has always felt like home to me. There's this blues aesthetic. Man, so many people that I love musically, Muddy Waters, I'm saying, Sam Cooke, Curtis
Mm-hmm.
Mayfield. I mean, the list is endless. I mean, I don't think people understand, we talk about other cities. I mean, Chicago to me is one of the most important black communities in the world. In the
Absolutely.
world. In the
Absolutely.
world.
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean?
Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
know it. I know it. Like I said, when you visited us in that basement, and when you visited us, it's just the idea of here's this cat from another world. Because New York City for me anyway, I can't
Mm.
speak to anyone else. New York City for me was like outer space because
Right.
everything I knew,
I understand.
like everything about hip hop that I knew came from there. All the television shows that we watched were New York landscapes. All of that, and it was
Mm.
just like that can't be a real place. And it
Mm.
wasn't until not too long after you showed up to hang out with us that we ended up all going to New York together. My first time uh,
Wow.
being there, my first time on a trip like that with other poets, and
Mm.
being in Brooklyn and seeing how Brooklyn works, just
Yeah.
the dynamic of creatives and no good people, just that melange of human beings, man. And it was everything I thought it was. But you coming to us meant a lot to us because
Wow.
it wasn't fake. It was a genuine, like, I'm here to show you what I can do in the midst of what you all are already doing, and it will remain one of the highlights of my poetic life. Although I am not poeting as much as I used to, and there's a gentleman in this room who is, yeah, here we go. They're already starting. Has there ever been a documentary like this, to your knowledge, where it deals directly with what it means to be a man?
Well, it's a great question. We went back and looked at images of black males over 100 years of cinematic images. I don't have to tell you, the racist stuff that we saw for like the first 50 years. If you go from 1900 to 1950, it was a lot of destructive images of black people, of black males specifically, except if you're talking about films by Oscar Micheaux,
Mm-hmm.
and a
Mm-hmm.
few other black filmmakers who existed. In terms of documentaries, not really, very rare. But think about our film brings together straight, queer, transgender, formerly incarcerated, college educated, five generations, like I said, teenagers to 90 somethings. We got brothers who are disabled in the film. When do you see disabled black men talking about what it is to be a black man? We have brothers who are short statured, little people in the film. When do you even hear their voices at all, even see them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
We have brothers from the South, from the Midwest, from the West Coast, from the East Coast. We have brothers who might have West Indian roots, whose ancestors directly came from Africa, not in terms of us, as we all know we all do, but you know what I'm saying? We have brothers with all different types of names and spiritual belief systems, and it's like being in a barbershop, except we purposely did not shoot it in a barbershop. We're like, wherever brothers are, we're going to bring their voices together. We're going to stitch it together. How do they feel about manhood? How do they feel about fatherhood? How do they feel about abandonment? How do they feel from different angles about what happened to George Floyd? Because certain things we can't skip over, like Emmett Till, George Floyd, because those are historical markers for black males. But we're also very clear that we did not want to traumatize brothers throughout this film. Like, here's a whole bunch of brothers hanging from trees. Here's a whole bunch of brothers getting beat up by the police. No, no, no. We're like, you know what? We can't ignore certain realities, but we also let brothers speak how they feel. It's the answer is no. I mean, I'm saying with all due humility, there's definitely. I mean, I got to shout out my brother Byron Hurt, who's done some incredible work. But the film Beyond Beats and Rhymes and a
Mm-hmm.
documentary he did. before that in the '90s that I'm in as well. You know, there's definitely been things that have happened that we feel, but we kind of expanded. We just took the baton and said let's add some things here. You know, that may not have been in other places. And honestly, one of the things that inspired me was the O.J. Simpson documentary. You know, I'm a sports fan. I thought it was brilliantly made. The thing that was sad to me is like, man, you know, Mario, you and I are old enough to remember OJ was like Michael Jordan
Yep.
back in the day.
Absolutely.
And you know, and I'm like, man, why do we have to? I don't. Our film ends with hope. Our film ends with brothers talking about what they're aspiring to in spite of all the circumstances, all the challenges around us. You know, because I think that's the other thing too. We hear all this negative stuff, man. Like I've been places where someone got up to speak before me, and they're speaking to a group of young black males, and like 1 out of 4 out of you gonna end in jail. 1 in 3 you ain't gonna make it to this age. I'm like,
Right.
yo, why would you even come at cats like that?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and so you know, we deal with hard stuff in this film. Trust me on that. But our intention is also like, yo, let's show our full humanity and let's show that brothers actually are thinking about ways of how to figure this thing out. You know what I mean?
I know you got a jet because I don't want Billy Johnson on me. So I'm gonna let you go. But before you go, man, I never have enough time to talk to you. Whether we're in person with each other or whether we're doing something like this, just know that you mean a lot to me. I am so
Thank you,
proud of
brother.
you. I'm so proud of this. We need this right now. If there's ever been a time where men need to be able to identify what this life is, this is going to be a big. I'm telling you, about to change a lot of people, man, and that's brilliant. Everybody, When We Free the World is premiering tomorrow and running until next week, Thursday, February 6th at AMC River East 21. Please check your theater for showtimes. I've always wanted to say that. Look at me. Kevin,
And brother,
man, I love you.
I love you too. And when I come to Chicago, I will come to the studio and sit with you, brother.
And
I'll
I'm
sit
gonna
there.
I'm going to disco poet Kahari B. And I'm going to take
Hey, what's up, brother?
I'm going to take you to a couple of spots that you need to visit, and we're gonna break some bread and talk and get this all figured out. And you got to bring your wife so she can see her
Oh,
people,
absolutely,
because we don't.
man.
We also don't want the Lawsons. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep peace out here on these streets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate you. I hope everyone can get out to the theater. And opening weekend is so important in New York and Chicago. So as many folks as possible, please come out and see the film this weekend if y'all can, and spread the word about it. It would mean a lot to us because this is a labor of love. Documentary films don't make no money, but it's for the people. That's why we did it.
Kevin Powell, thank you so much for being on the show today, brother.
Thank you so much. Peace to you.
Peace. Kevin Powell, everybody, When We Free the World, is going to be at AMC River East 21 starting tomorrow and running until February the 6th. And please check AMC River East 21 for showtimes. We come back. It's about to go down.